Hello, my name is Greg Dixon, the Karcher Whisperer. Today is day one of a series I'm calling Launch Your Online Course in 14 Days with Kartra. So today the topic is choose your topic. So that is probably the most important step, is for you to decide what you want to teach. So I'm going to step you through a few ways that you might determine what you're going to teach. Maybe you already know. Um, maybe you have a pretty good idea already, and all it's a matter of doing is going through the steps, and then you don't have to agonize over this step here. But if you're not quite sure, and especially if you've got two or three things that you are considering, this can help you sort them out. So the very first thing you might want to consider here is, who do you serve? uh, who is your ideal client? So if you have that person firmly in mind, if you know their habits, yeah, what their demographics are, male or female or both, young, old, um, if they have some specific habits or needs or whatever, if you have that in mind, that's very handy. So in the roadmap that you can download with the link that's scrolling across the screen, there's a little exercise where you can write out descriptions of that person, and I think for most people, consider that that's the most important thing. If you know who you're serving, who you're finding, that's very important. So the next thing is, once you have that person in mind, is what do they need to know? What's the most important thing that you know you have and you can teach them? Here's a little clarifying exercise put forward by Kim Walsh Phillips. And she said, imagine that you're in an airplane and the flight is 3 hours, and you're sitting beside somebody and you're talking with them. And what is the one thing that you can tell that person by the time you land that is worth $1 million? So if you have something that's worth $1 million, and you know what that is, then really then you're on your way. You just really need to make a course about how to present that one thing, and it'll take you wherever you want to go. So the next one here is, do you have passion for the topic? So it's going to be a lot of work to put it together if you don't have passion. So it has to be something you believe in, you want to go. If you're just doing something in order to make money, you're probably not going to be convincing at it, and it's going to be more work. And at the end of the day, you may not be able to sell it. So if you have something that you're passionate about, that comes through with everything you do, and that's a really good start. So the next question is, do you have knowledge of the topic, of the subject? So you may be passionate about something, but maybe you don't know enough about it. So you have to have at least some information about how to teach the thing, or you need to know how to find the information that you want to teach, or sometimes even finding experts that are going to present the information. You don't have to invent it all yourself, but generally, most of you will probably be teaching something you have experience with, and something you know about personally. And then here's another question. It says, will people pay for the result from what you teach? So, in other words, is there a market? Is there a paying market for what you're planning to teach? It's possible that you're not doing it for the money, and you just want to make lives better, and it's something you want to give away, in which case this isn't a concern. You don't have to worry about what people will pay for it. You might ask another version of it: will people commit to taking it, downloading it, using it? Will people get value out of it? So that's behind this question here. Um, so that's a good question to ask yourself. And another one here is, how easy is it to access the people who would want your course? So if you're in a community and you already have a number of people who are already, you already know, and you know what you are going to create, what you're going to teach will be of value to them, then that's going to be easy. If you have a niche that you're not associated with, retired astronauts or something, and you have no connection to the astronaut community, then it might be hard for you to get the attention, get in front of the people that you're making the course for. So that's a consideration when when you're putting this all together. So these are just a few tips that I want to talk about. I'm going to just sort of say a lot of these things are in the roadmap that you can, if you go to gregdixonwriting.com/launch your course, there's a place to sign up to get a copy of the free roadmap. It's a PDF with an outline of various things. And one of the most important parts of this section here is this bit here where it says, the ideal course evaluation calculator. It has those four things I just talked about: your passion, your knowledge, uh, the access to paying prospects, um, and people who will pay if there's a market for it. And this little simple little form, you just simply put in the numbers, rate from 1 to 10 on each side. And you can, there's room here for up to 4. You may have more, you may have fewer, and it just comes up with a number. But I think the most important thing is for you to sit down and go for each one of these things, each one of the topics, and assess, give it a value. So what's your passion level? What's your knowledge level? Are there paying prospects? Is there a market for it? And can you get access to those prospects easily? So is this going to be something that you can do without a lot of trouble or expense, or is it something you're going to have to plan on doing a lot of work for? Anyway, all of this is good. And again, download the free roadmap, and I'll see you again tomorrow. The topic will be outline your course. So once you have your topic, and then the next step is to outline it. After that, the rest is easy. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. Greg Dixon, the Karcher Whisperer.